Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the channel. This is Red Prep and we're building up to Manchester United Premier League opener against Fulham at Old Trafford. A bit unusual, United playing on Friday night. It's a night game at Old Trafford, so it should be rocking. And United, even though they lost the Community Shield, they played decently, so they'll be in good spirits with the two new incomings, Matthias DeLigt, who should start, and Nusser Mazraoui, who should also start for Manchester United on the night. I think United are buoyed by these acquisitions. They're good quality players at the right age, and they should help United going forward. Of course, there is bad news about Luke Shaw, but he's a permanent crock of a player. He's always at the treatment table, so there's no surprises there. Coming to Fulham, of course, they've got few incomings like Emil Smith-Rowe, but they've also lost the midfield dynamo in Linia, who's gone to Bayern Munich, as well as Tosin Adarabioyo, who's gone to Chelsea, and he was the dominant centre back. But still got decent players in midfield, and of course the striker Muniz, who was a revelation last season. So they'll be a threat definitely for Manchester United. Coming to head, of course, historically United have dominated Fulham at Old Trafford. Of course, we had some troubles against them at Craven Cottage, even under Fergie. But under Ten Hag, United have always been outplayed by Fulham, especially Fulham side trained by Marco Silva. He's got his way of playing. He's industrious. His teams are industrious and always attacking, always being progressive with the ball. And they've caused United a lot of trouble. We've won against them, but we also lost against them. And the last match at Old Trafford, they completely dominated and, of course, won it with the very last kick by Iwobi. It was a counter-attacking move by Adama Traore, and he'll be a threat if he gets to start. But I'm sure there are other players like Emil Smith-Rowe, Muniz especially, as well as Iwobi, who will cause us a lot of trouble. And it'll be interesting if we can dominate the midfield, because that is where we've lost the matches against Fulham. I think that will be the hotly contested area on the pitch, and especially with Casemiro coming into a bit of form in the Community Shield, it remains to be seen whether he can carry that forward in the Premier League, starting with Fulham on Friday. Coming to players to watch, of course, the top goal scorer, Muniz. He's a threat, great target man. He's good at receiving the ball and involving other players and building attacks. He's got a good shot on him, and he scored a few goals in the Premier League last season. But I think his overall game is what stood out. His overall performances as a striker were a revelation and quite surprising from such a young player. I'm sure he'll be ready to take the momentum from last season forward in this. For Manchester United, of course, Ahmad been spectacular in the preseason, but I thought Garnacho looked bright in the Community Shield. He should have got an assist and eventually got the wonderful goal. I think he's going to start, and I'm afraid that Erik Ten Hag might pick Rashford over Ahmad, and he might be dropped, which would be a travesty and a complete debacle, I think. Let's just put it this way, that I'll be surprised if Ahmad and Garnacho both start. Overall, I think Garnacho has good stats. His game, we know, is limited, but he always tries. He keeps on running even till the last second. He's always got a moment in him, and over the span of 90 minutes, I think he can always come up with a goal or create an opportunity. So I think he gets into the starting lineup easily in this one. For Manchester United, it's a straightforward formation. We usually play with 4-2-3-1, but recently, because we haven't had recognized striker, and especially for our pressing structure, we've started with two players up top, starting the press from the front, and the wingers also coming inside, narrowing the front end of our attack, and that helps in pressing and shuts out those easy ball through midfield and passes through these channels. So that is what we're going with. Of course, since Højlund is out and ZIRKZEE isn't fit, I'd like to see Rashford play in that position of a number 9 alongside Fernandes and start with the likes of Garnacho and Ahmad. I just don't want to see Ahmad being more on the bench, ZIRKZEE playing and Rashford playing on the left-hand side, because he hasn't deserved to be in the starting lineup for more than a year now. I think Ahmad should definitely start. He's been our brightest spark since the end of last season, and Garnacho should also start because he just scored and he looks, upbeat after that victory in the FA Cup as well as the Copa America victory in the summer. Of course, DeLigt, if fit, he'll come straight into the team. Of course, Maguire and Lindelof both have to sit out. Martinez is fit enough, so he should start. Martinez played left back in the Community Shield. I think Mazraoui, if fit, should start in that, no question asked. Of course, if he isn't fit, then Martinez might go there and Evans might come into this team. But I think this will be the overall team for Manchester United. Going to Fulham, of course, their team is also set. Muniz is the target man, their biggest threat. Pereira plays in the number 10 position, or Tom Kenny can also start there. Iwobi and Traore have played on both the wings. Of course, they've got the likes of Godot and Ryan Sessegnon also if they want to employ either of those players on the wings. The defense is set with Tete and Robinson, both experienced Premier League players. They've given some stellar performances against Manchester United, so they'll be confident. Diop and Bassi uh, played decently against United in on their last visit, especially Bassi, who also scored and dominated Hoyland. In midfield, it'll be interesting if they start with Smith Rowe with Lukic because he played in the last practice match against Hoffenheim, which they won 2-0 and also scored. But it'll be interesting if they opt for a more experienced players and bring in Reed and drop Smith Rowe just to start off. Of course, they can always bring him in the second half. Leno is the keeper, and he's a decent keeper. I think they'll be set up like this. Of course, they are great on counter-attacking with the pace of Traore. He will be like scored the winner against us just on the last visit. And Muniz is also a great target man. He's good with back to the goal, and he's good at linking up play as well and a threat in the box. So overall, I think they've got plenty of qualities to trouble United. Of course, a big gaping hole is that of Palinia, who's gone to Bayern, and it'll be interesting if the pivot can, dominate that midfield like they usually do at Old Trafford. So I think this is how both the teams will line up. In a lot of ways, both the teams cancel each other out. They like to play a similar way. They like to dominate with the ball, especially in that midfield area. Of course, United have struggled to dictate tempo and create opportunities and score goals over the span of last couple of seasons. Fulham, I think we have struggled even more, and it'll be interesting if United with the new acquisitions, if they can gel with the rest of the squad and start off on the right foot. I think both DeLigt and Mazraoui may need some time to adjust to the pace of the Premier League, and they might struggle in the first couple of matches, but that is to be expected. We have to be patient with them. Overall, I think United are in better stead with majority of the acquisitions coming straight into the starting lineup. I think that's a good takeaway from our transfer activity. Of course, we need a few more players, especially a couple of midfielders, especially a starter in midfield, the defensive assurance and insurance policy that we so desperately need for and have been lacking for the last decade since Michael Carrick left the club. Going forward, if we can get rid of players like McTominay, Harry Maguire, and bring in more replacement, especially that midfield area where we need reinforcement, quality reinforcement for sure. But I think with those couple of signings, our perspective has slightly shifted, though I'll be still skeptical of the INEOS Glazer partnership. I think it was a satanic golden handshake, and I think we're going to suffer. The premise of it all was faulty and corrupt, and we need more time to see what actual fruit it bears. But for now, I think if we can make a couple of more signing and start off well in this match against Fulham, I think a lot more people will jump on that bandwagon of INEOS. I think we can all appreciate what good they do, or if it results in good results. But of course, we have to be skeptical of their overall aims and goals at this club. So inshallah, we'll be back with the Red Dissection episode. Inshallah, we get a victory and start off this campaign strongly and confidently. Please join us for the Red Dissection episode. Until then, take care. Do good prayer for Palestinians, all the oppressed people all across the globe. Assalamu alaikum.